Brachos at the bottom of Daf Chof Aleph Amud Beis. We are where it says Tanan. The first word on the line is Yoin, about 5-6 lines from the bottom. So in the Gemara here we're learning about the din of a Balkari, a person that had a seminal mission, a Balkari. There's a takana from the time of Ezra that he may not learn Divrei Torah. And in the Mishnah we learned about Kriya Shema, Berchas Hamazon, Berchas Kriya Shema. And then in the Mishnah there was Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, which said that you can say everything. You could say Berchas Kriya Shema, Lefaneim, Lachreim, benching, bracha before you eat, not a problem. So the question is, what's the basis of the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda? So far, what we had in the Gemara that we learned on Friday was that Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is that there's no issue with learning Torah for a Balkari. So the Gemara now will bring from another Mishnah, it's actually the last Mishnah of this Pedic, where it seems to be pretty clear that Rabbi Yehuda holds that there is an issue with a Balkari to learn Torah, and even he agrees that he should be tovel in a mikveh before he learns Torah. Let's see. There are a few details in the Mishnah, so follow closely. Tanan, we learned in the last Mishnah of this Pedic, Zov Shara Keri, a person that's a Zov, which means he has already a Tumah prior to the fact that he became a Balkari, and that Tumah of a Zov, he has to wait 7 days until he goes to the mikveh. But this Zav, while he is a Zav, also saw a Keri, which now is a secondary thing, that now the question is, does he have to go to the mikveh to be able to learn? Another case, and here the Mishnah gives two examples as this relates to a woman. Nida shapalta shichva zera. A Nida, which of course is also Tameh for 7 days, but she also expelled Shichva Zera after marital relations, which also turns her into a Balkari. So while she has the Tumah of a Nida, that she has to wait 7 days, she now in addition is a Balkari. Another example, Hamishameshes Veras Adam. She had marital relations with her husband, which also makes her a Balkari, her and her husband. And then after that, she saw Dam Nida, she becomes a Nida, and she has to wait 7 days. So now the question over here is, in all of these cases, since this is an individual that anyways has to wait 7 days to go to the mikveh to become Torah, maybe going to the mikveh as a Balkari to be able to learn Torah doesn't apply. So the Tana Kama says, Tzrichen Tefillah. In all these cases, if they want to learn Torah, they still need Tefillah. Regardless of the other tumah that still exists for 7 days, they still need tefillah for the Balkari to be able to learn Torah. Rabbi Yehuda, you go to the mikveh. There's nothing stopping you of going to the mikveh. You go to the mikveh, and that enables you to learn Torah. And then when the 7 days arrives, then you go to the mikveh again. Separate thing. One second. Let me finish the Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda paiter, and Rabbi Yehuda says no, you do not have to go to the mikveh. So now, what do we see? What's going on over here? Rabbi Yehuda says that in these cases, the Balkari does not have to go to the mikveh. So the Gemara makes the following observation. At Kanlai Poter Rabbi Yehuda, in this mission, Rabbi Yehuda is saying that these people in this situation do not have to go to the mikveh to be able to learn Torah, ela b'zav shara keri, because this is an individual that's already a zav. The meikar alav bar tfilahu. From the beginning, he's an individual that's tameh for 7 days, and the tefillah is not going to remove that tumah anyways. So therefore, in such a situation, Rabbi Yehuda is saying that he doesn't have to go to the mikveh for the fact that he's a Balkari. However, we can understand from this that a Balkari Greda, if it's just an individual that's a Balkari alone and he does not have any other prior tumah, Mechayev. It seems like Rabbi Yehuda would agree that you do have to go to the mikveh to learn Torah. He's only arguing in this specific case because the person has another tumah. So now the Gemara suggests, not necessarily. Could be Rabbi Yehuda really argues in all cases, and when Rabbi Yehuda said over here, Paiter, Rabbi Yehuda argues in all cases and says you never need a mikveh. So why are we speaking about these specific cases of a person that has another tumah on him? Now, if you're going to suggest the following, really, Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is that even a person that has a keri alone does not need a mikveh, because as we learned in our Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda holds you could learn Torah when you are a Balkari. You never need a mikveh for a Balkari. The reason why the case in this Mishnah where they argue is a case where the person had another prior tumah, The Mishnah is only coming to say how far the opinion of the Rabbanon go. That when the Rabbanon require a Balkari to go to the mikveh to learn Torah, it's even if he has another tumah that he's going to have to be toivel again anyway 7 days later, but it doesn't matter. Meanwhile, for the Balkari, he has to be toivel now to be able to learn Torah. So the only reason it said this case is to show how far the Rabbanon's opinion go. Okay, so that would settle our problem here. Rabbi Yehuda holds you never need a mikveh, but the Gemara argues back. No. Let's look at what it said in the second case that the Mishnah brings. So again, we had before in the Mishnah, it brought one case of a man that was a Zav, and then had a Keri, and then the Mishnah brought two cases of a woman. Two cases of a woman that has another tumah. But the Mishnah brought two cases. One case where the woman was a nida first and then a balkari, and another case where she was a balkari first and then she became a nida. Why is the Mishnah saying both of those cases? So the Gemara now makes an observation of that. Let's aim a seife hameshameshes v'roas adam tzrichat tefillah. She's the meshameshes relations with her husband, and she became a balkari first, and after that she became a nida, and so the Mishnah says she has to be toivel. Laman katanila. Why is the Mishnah saying this case? What is the chiddush about this case? If this case is being taught here according to the Rabbanan's opinion that say that you do have to be toivel, pshita. It's obvious. Hashta now, umazov shara keri. If in a case where she had a prior tumah, or he had a prior tumah, and afterwards became a balkeri, the meikara lav bar tfiluhu. From the very first moment that he was a balkeri, he already had a prior tumah. Nevertheless, the Rabbanan say that the Balkari has to be toivel for his keri to be able to learn Torah. Hameshameshes v'ros adam. In a case where she had marital relations first and became a Balkari before she became a nida, the meikare bas tvilihi, at the time when the status of keri began, she was a person that was obligated to be toivel to be able to learn Torah. Like kol shekain. For sure, Rabbana would say that she's obligated to go to the mikveh. Why does that have to teach me this case? Ella, the only reason why it teaches me this case is because it's a chiddush according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda that says that you potter. Ella lav Rabbi Yehudahi. This case is a chiddush only according to Rabbi Yehuda. V'dafke katanila. And the Mishnah is saying that Rabbi Yehuda's opinion to pater is specifically in such a kind of scenario. Mishameshes v'ras adam nida. That if there were marital relations and she became a keri, and then she saw dam nida, ain't a tzrichet tefillah. The chiddush is, according to Rabbi Yehuda, that in such a case, even though the keri was first and the nida was second, once the nida comes, we pat to her from the tefillah of the keri that was first. But since now she's a nida and she'll have to wait 7 days for that, we pat to her. So we must say that this case of meshameshes v'roas adam is a chiddush only according to Rabbi Yehuda. Avo balkeri greda. So from here we go back to our original diuk that we see here, that according to Rabbi Yehuda, if the woman or the man was only a balkeri, machayev, you're obligated to go to the mikveh. Right? So just what we see here is that all these halachas we're speaking about apply to man and woman equally. There's no difference. So we'll see in the Hemshech of the Gemara B'negei halacha l'maisa how that applies today. But I'm just pointing out that the original takana of Ezra that a balkeri can't learn Torah applies to a man and woman equally. Mm-hmm. So the Gemara answers and explains. So now we're going back to the Mishnah that it said before, that Rabbi Yehuda said that you can make the brachos, birchos kriya shema, anything, it's not a problem. So the Gemara says, Loi teimim mevarich. Now we'll have to say, when we learned in the Mishnah on Daf Chaf, where it said that Rabbi Yehuda says you make the bracha, no, it's not, you can't make the bracha. Ela mahara. The word mevarich in the Mishnah means you can think the bracha, but you can't actually say the bracha. That's what we'll have to say, because right here we see clearly that Rabbi Yehuda requires tefillah. So the Gemara challenges this, no, can't be. Is it true that according to Rabbi Yehuda you're not allowed to learn Torah? We learned in a Braise where it clearly says not so. Balkeri she'ein lo mayim litboil, a balkeri that has no water to go to the mikveh, kaire kriya shema, he could only say kriya shema. That's behiror, as we learned in the Mishnah. Ve'ein mevarich lo lefanev lo lachareo, and he does not make a bracha before kriya shema or after kriya shema. Va'oichel pita, and he eats his meal, or mevarich lachareo, and he benches afterwards, which is minat Torah. And he does not make the bracha before eating, which is only midrabanan. Avo maharer beliboy ve'eino moitzi b'svasav. Whatever he can't say b'dibur, he can think it in his heart. Divrei Rav Meir, this is the opinion of Rav Meir. Okay, let me look again over here. I may have translated this wrong. When the Mishnah over here says that he can say that he can read Kriya Shema or make the bracha la'achrei, l'chayre the pshat is that he actually could say the Kriya Shema and could say the bracha la'achrei, but whatever he's not allowed to say b'dibur, he could only think it in his heart, which is not the opinion that we had in our Mishnah, but this is the opinion of Rav Meir. Rabbi Yehuda argues and says, Benkach o benkach moitzi b'svasav. Whatever it is, either way, whatever you're saying in Torah, the bracha before, after, you can say it with your mouth. So we have a very clear Mishnah. Moitzi b'svasav. Here you can't say that it means hirur. When the Mishnah said mevarech, you could say that that means hirur. But here it clearly says that he can say it with his mouth. So we're back to our contradiction. Why does it say in a Mishnah that Rabbi Yehuda requires tevilah if he says that you say it with your mouth? Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. So Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak gives a different answer. Asan Rabbi Yehuda kehilchas derech eretz. Rabbi Yehuda considers the things that he says in the Mishnah that you're allowed to say, whether it's Kriya Shema or Birchas Kriya Shema or benching or the bracha before meals, all of those things are similar to hilchas derech eretz. What's the significance of hilchas derech eretz? As we'll see in the continuation, hilchas derech eretz is an example of very easy mishnayos, something that you learn that doesn't take very intense concentration. That's something that Rabbi Yehuda allows to learn Torah. Rabbi Yehuda says a Balkari may not learn something that takes a lot of concentration, but to learn something which is very easy, you're allowed. So benching, saying Brachos Kriya Shema and Kriya Shema, which we are all accustomed to saying every day, that's something that Rabbi Yehuda allows. So you do have to go to the mikveh if you want to learn Torah, any other Torah, but these things that are the nusach you say every day, that Rabbi Yehuda allows. What's the source of this opinion of Rabbi Yehuda? So now the Gemara will bring a long brayse with a bunch of different opinions, amongst them Rabbi Yehuda. The Tanya we learned in a brayse, you should teach Torah to your children and your grandchildren. Oksiv Basrei, then the pasuk says, the day that you stood by Matan Torah. So we learn from there, Ma'ala Halon, just like by Matan Torah, Be'ema, Ube'yire, Ubereses, Ubeziyah. Yidden stood with fear, and they were trembling, and they were sweating when they got to Torah. Afkan, so too when a Yid learns Torah, Be'ema, Be'yire, Ubereses, Ubeziyah, you should have the same attitude as well. From here, Chachamim learned out, Hazavim, Vahamitzoyroim, people that are Tomei, whether a person is a Tomei because he's a Zav, or he's Tomei because he's a Mitzayre. Ubain al Nida is a person that had a relationship with a Nida, in a situation where he's not going to be a Balkari, because l'chayre he should be a Balkari. But Rashi explains that it's an oifen that he's not a Balkari, he went to the mikveh afterwards. Mutarim likreis b'Torah, he may read Torah, Nevi'im, Ksuvim, Lishnes b'Mishnah, he may read Mishnayos, Gemara, Ba'alachas, Ba'agadas, all these things are allowed. So the Mishnah is telling you, a person that's Tomei may learn Torah. Avol, Balekerion, people that are Balkeri, Asurim, they are forbidden. Because by a Balkeri, Rashi explains, it's not just the Tumah. It's not really about the Tumah. Maybe it is, but not primarily about the Tumah. What is it about by a Balkeri? So Rashi says, by a Balkeri, the issue is Kalus Reish v'Zachas Hadas. It's a result of frivolous behavior. That's what causes a person to be a Balkeri. We'll see soon in the Gemara other details about this, but for now, what we have here is that the main takana for a Balkari to go to a mikveh is not mitzad tumah. A person that has the most severe level of tumah could learn Torah, but it's about the tumah of a Balkari, which is a result of kalus reish. So therefore, a Balkari is also to learn Torah. Kalus reish, the person that acts frivolously causes him to be a Balkari. That's the mitzias. One moment. I want to see the other opinions here. Rabbi Yaisi Aimer. Rabbi Yaisi says, Shainuhu b'regiliyos. A person may learn Torah, things that he's accustomed to, things that he knows, but a bulvat shelo yatziyas ha-mishnah. He should not learn deeply in understanding something in the Mishnah. That's the pshat that Rashi says. There's another pshat that it says here from the Aruch. Yatzia means to teach others. The point is, when you're learning something and you understand it easily, you could learn that. Any Mishnayos, but not something that you have to be ma'ayin in. You have to intensely be ma'ayin in. That's the Kalus Reish doesn't affect this. It doesn't affect. Well, we'll see soon. Let's see the Hamshach of the Gemara. Rabbi Yonasan ben Yosef says, Matzia hu es ha-Mishnah Ve'ena matzias haGemara. One may learn Mishnayos and even learn it deeply, but not Gemara. Rav Nassan ben Avishalom says, Af matzias haGemara. No, you may even learn Gemara as well, and even deeply. But don't say the Eibishter's name. Don't spell out the Eibishter's name when you're learning and you're a Balkari. Rabbi Yochanan Hasandler Talmida Isha Rabbi Akiva Mishom Rabbi Akiva Aimer Leikanis LeMedrash Kol Iker. You shouldn't go into the Medrash to darshan the halachis at all. V'amri la, others said this in a different version. Leikanis LeBeis HaMedrash Kol Iker. He shouldn't enter into Beis HaMedrash at all because he's a Balkari. He shouldn't enter into the Beis HaMedrash. Shouldn't enter. And according to the first Gersa, he could enter into the Beis HaMedrash, but he has to be quiet. According to the second Gersa, he shouldn't enter into the Beis HaMedrash at all.
And he can't learn.
Obviously. Rabbi Yehuda Oimer. Now here comes the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, which is what we quoted before. This whole Brais is being quoted for this. Shaino bilchas derech eretz. He could learn things that he's very accustomed to and used to learning, which is hilchas derech eretz, very easy mishnayos. And this is what we said before, that Rabbi Yehuda considers Kriya Shema and things that you say every day to be like hilchas derech eretz, and therefore you could say it without going to the mikveh.
How does it differ from Rabbi Yossi?
That's all mishnayos. This is something, if it seems to be only hilchas derech eretz, mamish, something that you're accustomed to and easy, not all mishnayos. Now the Gemara brings an interesting story. Ma'aseh Rabbi Yehuda. There was a story with Rabbi Yehuda himself. Shara Keri, he was a Bal Keri, and he was walking at the side of the river. Amrullah Talmidav, his student said to him, Rabbeinu, Shana Lano Perek Echad B'Hilchas Derech Eretz. Teach us something in Hilchas Derech Eretz. They were aware that he couldn't teach them Torah. I guess they understood from the fact that he was walking by the river and not in the Beis Medrash that he couldn't teach them Torah. So they came and they said to him, teach us Hilchas Derech Eretz. Yarad v'taval, immediately he jumped into the water and he was taival. V'shana lahem, and he taught them something in Hilchas Derech Eretz, and maybe actually at that point he could already teach them anything in Torah. Amru Loi, so Talmidim said to him, Loi kach l'maratanu Rabbeinu, didn't you teach us Shainu hu beHilchas Derech Eretz, that a Balkari could teach Hilchas Derech Eretz? Why did you have to jump into the water? Amalahem, Rabbi Yehuda responded to them, although I am mekel on others, machmer ani al atzmi. Nevertheless, I'm still mekel regarding myself. There's more to say. Machmer ani al atzmi. I'm more stringent and more machmer on myself. Thank you. There's more to say on this subject about the tefillah of a Balkari and how it applies today, but I want to first finish the inyan a little bit, and then I'll share with you very interesting things about this, and especially what's relevant today. Tanya, now we learned in a Braise, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira hoya Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira would say, Ein divrei Torah mekablen tumah. The words of Torah are not susceptible to any impurity. And therefore, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira is saying is that a Balkari could learn Torah, he doesn't have to go to the mikveh. Okay? So Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira says, we don't follow anymore this takana of Ezra that you have to go to the mikveh. The words of Torah are not mekabel tumah. There was an incident with one Talmud. He was learning Torah near Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, and he was megamgim. There's a few pirushim in megamgim here. Either he was saying it very quickly, or he was saying it unclearly because he was a Balkari and he didn't want to learn Torah in a regular fashion. So Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira said to him, Amalei, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira said, Bini, my son, psach picha v'yirid v'recha, open your mouth and let the words coming out of your mouth shine. Speak the words of Torah clearly. She'ein divrei Torah mekablim tumah. The words of Torah are not susceptible to any impurity. She'nemar alei kodvarei ke'esh. My words are like fire. Noam Hashem, says the Eibishter. Ma eish eina mekabel tumah, av divrei Torah eina mekablim tumah. So too the words of Torah are not mekabel tumah. So this is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, and this is the opinion that most of the Rishonim follow and paskin according to it. Which means, even though there was a takana of Ezra in the time of the beginning of the second Beis HaMikdash, but when it came to the time of Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, the takana was nizbatel, and he said you could learn Torah without going to the mikveh. There is a discussion in Rishonim. Some Rishonim say that because Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira says this only regarding Torah, they were only mevatel regarding Torah, not regarding tefillah, because only Torah is not mekabel tumah. It's brought in the Rif and the Rambam. But most Rishonim say that the takana was nizbatel in ganzen. And not only that, Tosfos in Baba Kama, where it discusses the takana of Ezra, says, according to one of his terutzim there, that even Ezra never made his takana as an obligation. He made his takana l'chatchila as a reshus, because if he would have made it as an obligation, you can't be mevatel takana from an earlier generation, unless there's a bezdin that's greater in number and in wisdom. So it was never really a takana that was an obligation. Another opinion, Taisir says, even if it was an obligation, but it was a takana that didn't spread amongst Klal Yisrael and it was not accepted, and because it wasn't accepted, it was too difficult to fulfill. To have then, mikveh is all over the way we have available today, as we'll see soon in the Gemara. The Gemara is going to discuss all kinds of ways to be able to use a mikveh and to be metar yourself if it's a balkeri, because it wasn't simple for them to have water, so the takana did not spread in Klal Yisrael, and therefore it was nisbatel. And this is what we paskin today, that the whole takana that a balkeri may not say Torah unless he goes to the mikveh is not applicable. Okay, let's see weiter. There's more to say in it regarding how it applies today, but let's go weiter. Omamar, before the Tana said in the Braise, Matziyas ha-Mishnah v'ena Matziyas ha-Gemara. You could learn Mishnayos but not Gemara. Mesayei leile Rabbi Loi. So this Tana is a proof to Rabbi Loi. Amar Rabbi Loi, Amar Rabacha bar Yaakov, Mishum Rabbeinu, halacha, the halacha is Matziyas ha-Mishnah. He could learn the Mishnayos v'ena Matziyas ha-Gemara, and he does not learn the Gemara. Ketanoi, this is also, we see this also, the Tanoim argued about this, because it says in a Braise, Matziyas ha-Mishnah v'ena Matziyas ha-Gemara, Divrei Rab Meir. Rab Meir says he could learn Mishnayos but not Gemara. Rabbi Yehuda ben Gamliel oimer, Mishum Rab Chanina ben Gamliel, Zeh v'zeh osar. You're not allowed to learn either not Mishnayos and not Gemara. V'omri la, another opinion is Zeh v'zeh mutter. You're allowed to learn anything, which is basically like the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. Man doma Zeh v'zeh osar, Rabbi Yechon ben Sandler. Man doma Zeh v'zeh mutter, like we just said, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. The opinion of Yehuda ben Beseira that Divrei Torah not makabel tumah, and you could learn any Torah even as a balkeri. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak said, Nohog Alma, the world conducts itself, Kahani, Tlas, Sabi, like the following three older Amiroim. Rabbi Loi bereishus hageiz, like Rabbi Loi's opinion regarding reishus hageiz, Rabbi Yoshia beklayim, according to Rabbi Yoshia regarding klayim, and Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira bedivrei Torah, and like Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira that we just quoted regarding divrei Torah. And the Gemara will bring in short what are these three opinions that they were speaking about. Rabbi Loi bereishus hageiz, following the opinion of Rabbi Loi regarding reishus hageiz, which is of course when you shear the wool of the behemoth. When you share that wool, there's a part of it that has to go to the kohen. So the Tanya we learned in a Braise, Reishis hageiz, Rabbi Loi oimer, Reishis hageiz ein noeg al ha'baretz. The whole halacha, the whole requirement to give the wool that you share to the kohen is only in Eretz Yisrael, which is a chiddush because usually it's only the mitzvahs connected to the land that are only in Eretz Yisrael. But Reishis hageiz is in the behemoth. But nevertheless, he learns out from a pasuk that it's only in Eretz Yisrael. We follow his opinion. Rabbi Yoshia beklayim, and then we follow Rabbi Yoshia's opinion regarding klayim. Kedechsiv, leisizra karmacha klayim. Do not plant your vineyard klayim together with grain. Rabbi Yoshia imes. Rabbi Yoshia said the following halacha: Lo oila min chayiv. You're not chayiv for planting klayim. Ad sheyizra, unless you planted chita, se'oira, v'chartzen. You took a seed of wheat, of barley, and a grape seed, b'mapaylis yad, and with one hand motion, you threw it all into the ground together. So it has to be three, and in one hand motion together, then yechayiv. If not, it's not klayim and atayra. That's Rabbi Yoshia's opinion, which is a big kula in the halacha of klayim. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. Well, it means that it has to be. I'm teaching the Gemara. It has to be that you planted it together at the same time, not later. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira b'divrei Torah. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira's opinion regarding Torah is the Tanya. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira oimer ein divrei Torah mekablen toma. The words of Torah are not susceptible to tuma, and therefore, because Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak clearly says here, nohog alma, that the world is noik, like Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, this is the source of the fact that we accept Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira's opinion, and today the tefillah of Ezra, the takana of Ezra, is not applicable. Ki as Zeiri, when Zeiri came, Omar, he said, batlua litfilusa. They will mevatel the tefillah of Ezra. V'amri la, others say that he was talking about something else. Batlua linetilusa. They were mevatel washing your hands. The Gemara will explain. Man dama batlua litfilusa. The one that says that it was mevatel the tefillah, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. This follows the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. Man dama batlua linetilusa. The one that says that they were mevatel washing the hands, that's talking about something else. That's talking about washing your hands before davening. Kihod Rav Chisda, Layit. If you remember, we had this in the Gemara before. Rav Chisda would curse Aman de Mahader Amai Bidin Sloisa, one that has to daven, and the time of davening is passing, and he's going out of his way to find water. If you don't have water available, and it's under a mill, I think the Gemara said, so then you're not supposed to go look for water. You just wipe your hands, bedava demenaki, something that can clean your hands. You don't have to look for the water. So this concludes one part of the Gemara. But the interesting thing is, the rest of the daf will still be about this whole subject of Tfilas Ezra. So even after the Gemara brings the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, and it brings the conclusion of Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, and it also brings another statement of Zeiri, that they will mevatel this whole takana, and all the Rishonim, or most actually, say that the takana doesn't apply b'zman hazeh. Nevertheless, the Gemara continues with the whole discussion, as we'll see, it's pretty clear that even after Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, which was a Tana, b'zman ha'amiroim, they were still careful in Tfilas Ezra. So after all, after they were mevatel the takana, but Amiroim still were noig, many of them were still noig in Tfilas Ezra. And it's a davi yedua that amongst Chassidim, one of the things that the Baal Shem Tov was machadish and encouraged is to be noig in Tfilas Ezra and b'chlal to go to mikveh if possible every single day. And there's a famous tshuva in the Sefer called Shailas Tshuvas Min HaShamayim, which is from one of the Rishonim, that he asks Min HaShamayim. It's Tshuvas that he asks questions Min HaShamayim, and he asks a question b'negei to this Shiloh, b'negei to Tfilas Ezra, whether it's applicable b'zman hazeh, and he asks the question, Hayos, there are some Rishonim that paskin that it still applies today. Should you accept that opinion, or should you accept a majority opinion that it doesn't? And the Tshuva that he got Min HaShamayim was that it does apply, and you should be noig b'Tfilas Ezra, and it says very sharp L'shonos there in the Tshuva about someone that's not noig b'Tfilas Ezra, and it says there in the Tshuva that this day that you get this answer is a Yom Psura. And I believe that's the famous Tshuva where he says the term Yom Psura regarding Yutes Kislev, and he says very strongly that one should keep the Tefillah of Ezra. And then, one second, then I'd like to share with you, for the little time we have, a Meiridige letter from the Friedrich Rebbe, where someone inquires by the Friedrich Rebbe regarding going to the mikveh and Tfilas Ezra, and the Friedrich Rebbe shares with him 3 short incidents there. He says, I have written in my Zechreinis, a Kabbalah from the Baal Shem Tov, 3 short incidents. One is of a certain tremendous goyin in learning, that B'shas he was learning, he would suddenly get confused in his learning, and he wouldn't have the ability to focus on his learning. So he went to a great gadol in his times, it says there the name, I forget it right now, I think Rab Shachnim Lublin is the name, and he advised him to go to the mikveh, and that will cure him. Then the Friedrich Rebbe says another story of a gvir that lived in the time of Rabbi Eliyahu Baal Shem. And a big gvir gave money and stock of everything, but one thing that he was mezalzel in is tefillin mikveh. And they were building a mikveh in his city, and he didn't want to participate in the building of the mikveh. And he all of a sudden he had tremendous memory loss. And they didn't know what happened. He went to Rabbi Eliyahu Baal Shem, and he told him, you'll be noig in tefillah, you'll encourage tefillah, and you'll be cured. And kachava. The third story he brings over there from the Maharal, in the times of the Maharal Mi Prague, there was an individual that on the day of the marketplace, he used to hand out Gemilas Chasadim, money to lend money to people to be able to buy in the marketplace, invest, and then to be able to make money. And everyone knew, you borrow money from this person, you're for sure going to be successful. So the Maharal heard about this, and he knew this person, a Pasha Yid, a very simple individual. What happened over here? And he found out that this Yid was always makbid b'tefillah every single day, and this was the tremendous bracha that he had in his Gemilas Chasadim. So the Friedrich Rebbe there in the letter encourages and writes that there's a meidige inyan, a meidige koyach of Tfilas Ezra. Okay, let's go weiter. Sagt the Gemara Tan Rabbanon, Balkeri shenosnu olav tisha kabin. A Balkeri that you throw upon him 9 kabin of water. Not sure the exact amount, but maybe you have it there in the art scroll, but it's something probably in between 3 and 5 gallons of water.
3.4 gallons.
Okay, I'm sure there's other opinions. That's one opinion.
And
okay,
then it's approximately 5.7 gallons.
Okay, there you go. So tahir. So, but you don't need an actual mikveh. If you have from a bucket and you pour upon the person these gallons of water, he's tahir. Nachum ish gamzu lacha shal Rabbi Akiva. Nachum ish gamzu that knew this halacha said it quietly to Rabbi Akiva. Didn't want to publicize it. It's a kula. He didn't want to publicize it. Rabbi Akiva lochshal Ben Azai. Rabbi Akiva said it quietly to Ben Azai. Ben Azai yotza v'shanol tamida v'shok. And Ben Azai went and taught this kula to everybody in the street. Now, pligi batre miroi. There was an argument about this b'marava in Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Yesi bar Oven, Rabbi Yesi bar Zvida. So they argued about this. Chatani, one actually said shona, that Ben Azai told it to everybody. The Chatani lachasha, and the other said no, Ben Azai still kept it quiet. Man the Tani Shana, the one that said that Ben Azai publicized it for everybody. Why did he publicize it? Mishum Bittul Teira. Because of Bittul Teira, he saw people don't have a mikveh and they're not learning, so it's a Bittul Teira, so you have to give them a kula. They should know about this kula of Tisha Kabin. And another reason, Mishum Bittul Peri V'Ribya. People do not want to be with their wives because they become a Balkari, they won't have children because they're worried about going to the mikveh the next day to be able to learn Teira. And the one that said that he wanted to keep it quiet, he didn't want to publicize his heter, so the Talmidei Chachamim shouldn't be together with their wives every month and danishig all the time, like it is the conduct of the chickens. So, by the way, this reason that it says this, this is the actual reason that's brought in Yerushalmi as the ikar reason for this entire takana of Tfilas Ezra. And this is the reason that the Rambam brings, this is the reason that the Shulchan Aruch brings, and this is the reason that the Alter Rebbe and Shulchan Aruch brings as well. The point that Rashi before says about Kalas Reish is not brought in Shulchan Aruch at all, not brought by the Alter Rebbe either. This, according to the Alter Rebbe's Psak and the Rambam, seems to be the primary reason why the Takana was made. As a prevention, that Talmidei Chacham shouldn't be distracted all the time, they should be able to learn Torah. So therefore they will make this Takana of Tefillah.
So now you can understand the distinction between something you have to learn and use your head more. Because you Talmid Chacham was to learn
Okay, so the point about learning that you brought up before is because when a person is not tevel, it clouds his thinking. As I Zetman, okay, I brought before the story that this person was thinking and he couldn't learn Torah. A person that doesn't go to the mikveh doesn't have the proper Torah. It clouds his thinking. He's not able to think deeply and properly, but he's able to learn easy things in Torah. Okay.
So the mikveh stop meditation kind of again.
Yeah, because they'll know that they'll have to find a mikveh, and it's not so easy to find a mikveh. So yeah, that will prevent that they shouldn't be distracted all the time. Rabbi Yanai said, "Shamait yishemei bo." I heard that there are those that are lenient about this, and they don't even look for a mikveh. Going back to what we said before, you can use buckets of water. V'shamait yishemachmirim bo, and there are those that are machmer, and that they want to have actual real mikveh. And the Gemara concludes, "V'chola machmer ba." So we see the Gemara here itself says this: someone that's machmer, that he wants to find a mikveh, alatzmai ma'arichen lo yama v'shneisa. The Eibusha will give you a long life. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, "Ma'ativan shel toiv le'shachrin." What is the point of these people that go to the mikveh in the morning? Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi is wondering why are they going to the mikveh. So the Gemara asks, "Ma'ativan?" He's wondering what they're doing. Ha'iu da Amar, we learned yesterday on Friday and Daf Chaf Aleph. He's the one that said that Balkari also b'divrei Torah. A Balkari may not learn Torah, so that's why they're going to the mikveh. So the Gemara explains, Hachikama. This was his question. Mativam barboim sa. Why are they looking to find a kosher mikveh of 40 sa? Efshe b'tisha kabin. There's the kula that you can use tisha kabin. Mativam betvila. Why did they have to go into a mikveh? Efshe b'nisina. You can take the water and just pour it upon you. And by the way, I should mention there's a machlekes amongst contemporary paiskim, the Shevet HaLevi, the Shmuel Vosner, and others, whether tisha kabin can be used today through a shower or not. If you put on the shower, is that qualify for Tisha Kabin? And then the ones, I'm not 100% sure, but even one, yeah, it's not. I don't know if there's a din of Keli really, but even the ones that say that it does apply, maybe that you have to be under the shower right when it starts, as soon as the kiluach, as soon as you have to be there under the shower from the beginning, and then it's still cold. Okay, so abyssal eskafia. Anyways, I'm just mentioning that there are those that say that a shower is good enough for Tisha Kabin. There's a very big fence that you're setting for a person that's positive by saying that he has to go to a mikveh and not to be mekel. The Gemara brings the following story. There was a story with somebody that he wanted to have a relationship with a woman, an aveda. She says to him, Reika, you good for nothing. Yesh l'char boim sa. Do you have our boim sa? Okay? So Rashi over here points out, and the Mefarshim explain, obviously she wasn't an Eishes Ish, wasn't an Aveda Chamura. If it was an Aveda Chamura, she would have known he's not interested in any mikveh. But it was a Pnuya, and it's Aveda Kala, it's Aveda Medarabbanon, so she was asking, do you have our boim sa? Shata Toivel ben? Some Yad Pirish. So immediately he wasn't over this Aveda. So we see that the requirement of a mikveh could save a person from an Aveda. Okay, this is a message b'chlal. I mentioned, I've gained some mikveh, so halt them up from an Aveda. Sagt the Gemara weiter, Amalu Rav Huna l'Rabbanon. Rav Huna said to the Rabbanon, Rabbi Sai, my teachers, Mipnei ma Atem mezalzel betfila zu. Why are you mezalzel? Why didn't you go to the mikveh? Why don't you make sure to be tayvel before you learn Torah in the morning? Imishum tzina is the issue because the mikveh is cold. They didn't have the what we have today that you can heat the mikvahs as well as we do. Efshab merchatzois. He says you could be mekel. You can go to the bathhouse. It's not a kosher mikveh. You could be tayvel in a bathhouse in mayim shuvim, even a mikveh that's possible. Gemara says weiter, Amalei Rav Chisda. So Rav Chisda responded and said, V'chiyesh tvila b'chamen? Could you toivel in chamen? Chamen referring to in a bathhouse which is heated, which is not a kosher mikveh? Amalei Rav Ada Bahava koi kvaseich. So Rav Huna responded to him, Rav Ada Bahava also agrees to you that you shouldn't be toivel in a mikveh that's not kosher. But the Gemara here is saying, according to Rav Huna, that you could be toivel in a mikveh that's not kosher for a balkeri. We have the kula of Tisha Kabin, and now we have the kula of a person going to a mikveh that's not necessarily kosher, which today would mean if you don't have a mikveh available, you can go to a swimming pool or anything else which is not kosher, and that's the halacha l'maisa. Rab Zeira Yosef Agne de Mayer. Rab Zeira was sitting in a bath of water, Beimasusa in the bathhouse. Amalei l'shamei, he said to his servant, Zil, v'aisli Tisha Kabin, go and bring me 9 kabin v'shadi lavoy and throw it upon me to be metar me. Amalei Rab Chia bar Abba said, Lamalei kula hai. Why does he have to throw water upon him? He's sitting in water which is Tisha Kabin. Even if he's not being toivel, but he's sitting in water that was certainly Tisha Kabin. Amalei kar boim sa. It's similar to our boim sa. Mar boim sa betvile v'loy benesine. When you're toivel in a mikveh, you have to be immersed in the mikveh, and you can't throw the boim sa on the person. After shekabin, so too, if you want to use the measurement of water to throw upon the person, benesine v'loy betvile. So that's something that you have to throw upon him and not be toivel in him. It has to be exactly that way that the water is poured upon him. Rav Nachman tikken chatzbo bas Tisha Kabin. Rav Nachman made.
How does that answer his question?
So therefore, even though he was sitting in the water, but that doesn't qualify. The water has to be poured upon him. So that's why he told the servant to pour the water upon him.
So that's why under the shower you have to go maybe right away.
When it should come upon you. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's related to this. Okay, Rav Nachman tikken chatzbo bas Tisha Kabin. So Rav Nachman he prepared a jug that was exactly the right size, so people could have it and people can copy it, and they should have this jug to use. So they now came and said, Lo Ishanu, this whole kula of using Tisha Kabin is only said, a person that's not well, and a person that has a balkeri involuntarily. That's what Lo Einsai means. Happens involuntarily. Then you could use this kula of Tisha Kabin. A person that's not well and he's margil, what margil means is that it's intentional, that it's normal, it's marital relations, then arboimsa. For that you have to have a mikveh. Okay? So what happened now? Amar Rav Yosef, so Rav Yosef says, It berchas b'd Rav Nachman. Okay, so now the jug of Rav Nachman could be broken. Because we're talking over here about Talmidei Chachamim, that involuntarily, it's uncommon, it should never happen to a Talmid Chacham to be a balkeri. And they only need a mikveh because of marital relations. And for that, we just said it doesn't apply, it doesn't work. So, you can't use that jug anymore. Ravin came and he said in Usha, there was a story, that they were discussing this in a room in front of Rav Aishia, also Vishalul Ravasi, and they came and they asked Ravasi, and Amalahu, he said the halacha is different. He was more makel. They only said that you could use Tisha Kabin, or that you even need Tisha Kabin if you're a person that's not well and it's coming in normally. But if you have you are a balkeri and you're unwell and it's involuntarily, then pater miklum. An involuntary thing, you're totally pater. You don't need any mikveh, you don't even need any Tisha Kabin either. Amar Rav Yosef, so Rav Yosef heard this, he responded and said, it's the midchatz b'd Rav Nachman. We could put back his jug. His jug is still useful because we're more makel, and we say that after marital relations you can use the Tisha Kabin. So this is the argument over here. So the Gemara now in the continuation is going to discuss various different cases. So far we had 2 cases. You have a balkeri that happens involuntarily, and you have a balkeri that happens normally. But before, till here, the Gemara was talking about a chayla, a person that's unwell. The Mefarshim point out it's talking about Talmidei Chachamim, and Talmidei Chachamim that learn Torah all day are considered to be chaylim. The Gemara says that the learning Torah weakens them, so they're considered to be chaylim. The Gemara is now going to discuss the same two cases, involuntarily and a normal emission, but regarding a body, a person that's well. Let's see the Gemara. Mechti, let us see. The Gemara starts with the following question. Kulu amiroi v'tanoi b'de Ezra kamifligi. They're all arguing about the takana of Ezra. Right? Because Ezra is the one that made this all takana. So the question is, v'nechzi Ezra heichen tikkun. Let's see what the takana of Ezra is. As Taisus explains, this was a takana of Ezra that people throughout generations were consistently keeping. So why can't we just follow the way the takana of Ezra was always kept? How can there be argument about this? Amar Abaye, so Abaye says, Ezra tikkun lebari amargal. Ezra's takana was only for a well person that has a normal emission, and that he says mem sa. For that you have to have 40 sa. And ubari lo oinsa, involuntary emission, is tes kabin. For that Ezra was makel that you could use the 9 kabin. That was Ezra's takana. That's it. Now va'asu amiroi. The Amiroim of later generations came, upligi, and they argued b'chayla. In a case of a person that's unwell, Ezra's takana was not for the chayla, but they came and argued about the case of a chayla. Mar savas, and our one opinion is chayla hamargil, kabari hamargil. We compare a chayla to a bari. They both, if it's normal, they both are the same, and you have to go to a mikveh. The chayla la'ainsai, kabari la'ainsai, and a chayla if it's involuntary. To a body which is involuntary is also the same, that you can use tisha kabin. Umar savar, and the other opinion is that a chayla you go a step down. Chayla hamargil, by a chayla when it's normal, it's kabari la'ainsai, it's like a body that it was involuntary and you have to use tisha kabin. And the chayla la'ainsai, and by a chayla if he's unwell and it's involuntary, patum niklom. Then you're going to be totally potter. So they're arguing whether by a chayla you're makel. That was the argument. Now Rav is going to say basically the same thing with one slight difference, and the Gemara is going to repeat more or less the same thing. Let's see. Omar Rave, so Rave says, Nihi, the taken Ezra tefillah, Ezra is the one that was misaken to be toivel in a mikveh. Nisime mitiken. Was Ezra ever misaken this kula that you could pour 9 kabin of water on a person? V'ha'amamar. The Tana, when he told us about the takana of Ezra taught, Ezra tikkun tefillah l'balikarian. Ezra was only misaken to be toivel in a mikveh. He never said this whole kula of pouring 9 kabin of water on somebody. So therefore, Rava says the same thing we said before, but slightly different. Ela Amar Rava says as follows: Ezra tikkun tefillah l'bari amargel memsa. The only takana of Ezra was for a person that has a normal emission that he has to use a mikveh. Now va'asur Rabbanon, the next generation, the Rabbanon came v'eskinu l'bari la'oinsei, for a person that has an involuntary emission, and he could be makel, and he can use tes kabin. He can use pouring 9 kabin of water. Now, also amiroi. Now, even later generation, amiroim came v'kamifligi b'chayla, and they argued regarding a chayla whether we place him on the same level as a body or more makel as a chayla, as we just said before, the same exact thing. Mar sava chayla amargel kabari amargel v'chayla loinse kabari loinse. They're both the same. Or mar sava labari amargel mem sava chayla amargel kabari loinse kabari loinse. Yeah, tes kabin aval chayla loinse patim klum. The repetition of everything we learned before. That when it comes to a chayla, we go down one level. Zok the Gemara Omar Rave. So Rave says, what's the final halacha? Hilchase bari hamargel v'choyle hamargel arbaim sa. Whether a person is well, whether a person is sick, if it's something that's normal, then he has to go into a mikveh. Bari lo insai tisha kabin. A person that's well and it's involuntary, he can be makel to pour 9 kabin of water. Aval l'choyle lo insai patam miklom. A person that's sick and it's involuntary doesn't need no mikveh, doesn't need to pour any water over him. Let's learn another piece over here. Zok the Gemara, Tan Rabbanon. The Rabbanon said the following: Balkeri shenosnu olav tes kabin mayim tohir. A balkeri that you poured 9 kabin of water upon him, he's tohir. Now the Braisa clarifies by medvar mamunim la'atzmai. That's only to learn Torah for himself. Aval acherim, but to teach Torah for others are b'amsa. To teach Torah to others, you should go to the mikveh. From here, you see a person that teaches Torah to others, he should be machmir to go to the mikveh. But Rabbi Yehuda says, mem sa mikol makim. You always have to have 40 sa. So now the Gemara is going to analyze the opinion of the Tanakama and the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda separately. Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Shua ben Levi, that's one group of Amiroim that are going to analyze this. Rabbi Elazar v'Rab Yosi v'Rab Chanina, another group of Amoraim. Now the Gemara says Chad Mahai Zuga, one of the first group, the Chad Mahai Zuga, and one from the second group, Areisha. Are going to speak about the Reisha. And as follows. First we're going to discuss the opinion of the Tanakama. Chad Omar, so one of them said, Hoda Omrit, Bamed Varam Amurim La'atzmai, this that he said, that for himself, he can use the 9 kabin, but if he's teaching Torah for others, mem saw, he has to go into a mikveh, l'shanu el l'chayla amargal. This Braisa is talking about a person that's not well, that had a normal emission. If he's sick and it was involuntary, then we're makel always. We're always makel, tes kabin, he can use whether he's teaching Torah, even if he's teaching Torah for others, he can use tes kabin. Chadamar, another opinion regarding the opinion of the Tanakama was, anytime you're teaching Torah to others, even if you're not well and even if it's involuntary, if you're teaching Torah to other Yidden, you always have to go to mikveh. And now we have one opinion of the first group and one opinion of the second group that analyzed the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda in the Sefer. One of them said, this that Rabbi Yehuda says that you always should go into a mikveh of memsa. He only meant when you go into a proper mikveh that's in the ground. If you go into a mikveh that's in a vessel that's not a kosher mikveh, it's ma'im she'uvim, loy. That would not qualify. Rabbi Yehuda never meant that. Another opinion was afilu b'kelim. Rabbi Yehuda meant that you don't have to necessarily go to a kosher mikveh. You can go into a mikveh that's in a vessel. Kelim nami. So the Gemara asks, the one that says that you can go even into a mikveh that's in a vessel. Haini the Tani Rabbi Yehuda oimem memso mikol mokim. Rabbi Yehuda adds 2 words. Mikol mokim. Why did he add those 2 words mikol mokim? To teach me that it doesn't have to be a kosher mikveh. Yeah, you can go into a mikveh that's in a keli. But the opinion that says that it's in the ground, that has to be a kosher mikveh, that's okay, bekalim. But if it's in a vessel, loy, that's not okay. So why does he add the 2 words mikol makim? He said 40 so. What's the 2 words mikol makim? Even if it's in the ground, but it may not necessarily be a kosher mikveh. It could still be mayim she'uvin. Okay? We have another few lines to finish to the Mishnah, to finish the subject. Rav Papa, Rav Huna Bereid, Rav Yeshua, Rav Bashmuel. There were 3 Amoraim, Krichu, Rifte, Bahadi, Adadi. We're all 3 eating bread together. Amal Rav Papa, so Rav Papa said, Havalili didi livroich, allow me to bench for everybody, as it was a custom then that they benched for one bench for others. The nofel alai tes kabin, because there was tisha kabin that were poured over me, so I could bench. Amalahu Rav Bashmuel. Tanina, what we learned, if you want to bench for yourself, if you want to bench to be mitzi us, memsa, it's only if you went into the mikveh. Give to me to bench, the nafal bamsa, I was in a mikveh today. Amalu Rav Huna, so then Rav Huna came and said, give me the opportunity to bench. The leka lavoy loy avaloyha, I didn't have not tisha kabin and not a mikveh because I wasn't a balkari. Rav Chame Tovel b'Maila Yaimid de Pischa. Rav Chame would go to the mikvah on Erev Pesach laHoitzi Rab Midei Chivasam, because at the night of the Seder he would say the Haggadah to be mitzi everybody else. So again, you see this point when you're teaching Torah, being mitzi others, and this is the source for the concept that a Shliach Tzibur or a Balkaira or a Baltekeya and so on, an individual in such a should go to a mikveh. However, the Gemara does conclude that we don't paskin like him, but still, you do see in the Gemara that there is a special union of la'acheirim, and it also says b'chlal not only b'negeh to la'acheirim, but a b'chlal, a person that's in a position where he's taking responsibility for something that he's doing for others, like a shaychit, a moyel, a sandik, and so on. That you're doing something that's la'acheirim. There's more an union to be makbeh to go to the mikveh.